Have you ever felt like your child no longer listens to you? You speak, but they ignore you, you give advice, but they respond with indifference or even argue back. Maybe your child used to be very obedient, always coming to you for advice, but now, everything seems to have changed. Can you recall a time when you asked your child to help with chores, but instead of complying, they grumbled or ignored you? Or maybe you just wanted to have a conversation to understand them better, but they only gave short, dismissive answers or even seemed annoyed. That feeling is frustrating, isn't it? So, what happened? Why did your once well-behaved child become distant or even disrespectful? Is it just a phase of rebellion, or is there something in your behavior that unintentionally made your child lose respect for you? If you're experiencing this, don't worry. You're not alone, many parents face the same struggles. The good news is that you can absolutely change this. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button to make sure you never miss a video, because you deserve a joyful, healthy, and meaningful life. Here, we share inspiring stories, real-life experiences, and practical solutions to help you enjoy your golden years with peace and fulfillment. Today, I'm going to share 8 powerful strategies to help you regain your child's respect, without arguments or force. These methods will not only help you rebuild a healthy relationship but also show your child that respect for parents comes from love and understanding, not obligation. Why you've lost your child's respect. Have you ever felt your child growing more distant, listening to you less, or even responding with indifference or defiance? You might wonder, what changed? Why did your child, who used to be so respectful, stop valuing your words? In reality, this shift isn't necessarily a sign of rebellion or ingratitude, it's part of a natural process in the parent-child relationship. When children are young, they rely on their parents for guidance and decision-making. But as they grow up, they develop their own thoughts, crave independence, and no longer want to be controlled. If parents don't adjust their role to align with this development, the generational gap widens, and respect may fade. Moreover, sometimes parental behaviors, even those driven by love and protection, can unintentionally erode respect. One of the most common mistakes is overindulging children, always meeting their demands without setting boundaries. When this happens, children may stop appreciating their parents' sacrifices and start seeing them as obligations. Over time, gratitude fades, replaced by entitlement, and when parents can't meet every demand, children might respond with frustration or disrespect. On the flip side, excessive control or imposing opinions can also backfire. Even when parents only want the best for their children, constant interference in every aspect of life, from academics to career choices and personal decisions, can make kids feel suffocated and disrespected. Over time, this pressure can lead to defiance, regardless of whether the parent's advice is right or wrong. Another mistake parents often make is craving their child's love and approval to the point of losing their role as a leader. When parents try too hard to please their children, fearing conflict or rejection, children may stop viewing them as figures of authority. Instead, they might see parents as people they can agree with or ignore at will, leading to a gradual loss of respect. In short, respect isn't automatic, it's something that must be consciously built by both sides. If you're noticing these signs in your relationship with your child, don't worry. There are ways to reclaim your rightful place in their heart, and next, I'll share practical strategies to help you restore their respect without arguments or force. Number 1, stop seeking validation from your child. One of the most common mistakes parents make is constantly seeking validation from their children. They try to please their kids, agree to every request, and sacrifice their own desires just to maintain harmony. This comes from love, but it can backfire. When parents desperately seek their child's approval and affection, they unintentionally place themselves in a weaker position, gradually diminishing the child's respect for them. Have you ever felt disappointed when your child didn't appreciate what you did? Have you ever wondered why, despite all your efforts, your child remained indifferent or dismissive of your sacrifices? The truth is, respect can't be begged for or forced, it only arises when you genuinely believe in your own worth. Think of someone you truly respect. Is it someone who constantly tries to win approval, or someone who is confident, firm in their values, and unwavering in their principles? When parents consistently put their child's needs above their own, disregarding their own well-being, they lose value in their child's eyes. But when you stand firm, confident in your decisions, and stop worrying about whether your child validates you, you start to rebuild an image of strength and dignity. Instead of chasing after your child's approval, trust yourself. You don't need your child to tell you you're a good parent to know you've done your best. When you stop trying to win their favor, your child will begin to see you differently. Your confidence and independence will command respect, because when children see you living a life with purpose and self-worth, they'll learn to treat you with genuine appreciation. Remember, you are a parent, not someone whose value depends on their child's validation. And when you stop demanding recognition, your child will start paying attention, not because you asked for it, but because you truly deserve it. Number 2, set clear and firm boundaries. Have you ever felt like your child ignores your words, goes against your wishes, and doesn't seem to care about the consequences? This could be because you haven't established clear boundaries in your relationship. When parents don't set limits, children may gradually disregard their advice, guidance, and even lose respect for them. Boundaries don't mean control or imposition. It means defining what you accept and what you don't, then standing firm in your decisions. If your child consistently speaks to you disrespectfully and you overlook it to avoid conflict, you're unintentionally teaching them that this behavior is acceptable. Without boundaries, children won't know where the line is and will continue to test your patience. So, how do you set effective boundaries? Stand your ground. If you say no to a request, stick to that decision instead of giving in just to keep the peace. For example, if your child constantly asks for help without taking responsibility, gently but firmly refuse when necessary. This doesn't mean you don't love them, it means you're teaching them that respecting others' boundaries is essential. When you set limits and consistently uphold them, your child will learn to respect you more. Your steadfastness in words and actions will show them that, no matter how much they try to persuade or protest, you remain the authority in the relationship. Number 3, avoid arguments, use actions to prove your point. When children show disrespect, many parents instinctively argue or try to reason their way to victory. They explain at length, recount past sacrifices, or even raise their voices to force their child to listen. But this is a big mistake. Arguing doesn't make your child respect you more, in fact, it can diminish your standing in their eyes. Think back to a situation like this. The more you try to make your child listen, the more intense the argument becomes. They may rebel even more or completely tune you out. When you lose your temper, you show your child that they can easily influence your emotions. And when they see you lose control, respect fades away. So, what's a better approach? Control your emotions. Say less, act more. If your child is being disrespectful, instead of arguing, stay calm and show your stance through your actions. For instance, if they refuse to listen when you speak, stop repeating yourself, stay silent and convey seriousness through your expression and demeanor. If they are irresponsible, rather than scolding, let them face the natural consequences of their actions. When you maintain your composure, your child will see that you're not easily swayed, and their perspective of you will gradually change. A parent who can control their emotions, remains unshaken, and consistently upholds their principles will naturally command respect, without arguments or force. Number 4, don't rely on your child for emotional fulfillment. As children grow up and build their own lives, many parents start feeling lonely. They wait for phone calls, crave messages, and seek happiness through their child's attention. But if you place all your emotional fulfillment on your child, hoping they will make you happy by spending time with you, it can backfire. Your child may feel pressured, even frustrated, and start distancing themselves. Put yourself in their shoes. If someone constantly expects you to make them happy, wouldn't you feel burdened? This is why emotionally depending on your child can erode respect. When they sense you can't find happiness on your own and rely on them for emotional support, they might stop seeing you as a strong figure. What's the solution? Build a life outside of your role as a parent. Instead of waiting for your child, find joy in other things, a new hobby, social activities, or meaningful friendships. When you stay busy with your own personal goals, your child won't feel pressured to be your sole source of happiness. On the contrary, they'll begin to respect you more. A parent who is independent and knows how to create their own joy not only makes their child feel more comfortable but also becomes a figure to admire. When you live your life fully, rather than revolving solely around your child, they will respect you, not out of obligation, but because they recognize your strength and dignity. If you're a senior looking to live a fulfilling, happy, and independent life during your golden years, don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you won't miss any videos, because you deserve a life full of joy, health, and meaning. Here, we share inspiring stories, practical experiences, and valuable solutions to help you embrace your later years with peace and fulfillment. Number 5. Show respect to gain respect. Have you ever felt that your child doesn't respect you, only to realize that you may not have truly respected them either? Respect cannot be forced, it must be built from both sides. If you want your child to listen to you, start by setting an example through listening to them. If you want your child to treat you with respect, demonstrate that respect in the way you treat them. This doesn't mean you have to agree with every opinion or action they have. But instead of reacting with criticism or immediate dismissal, show them that you value their thoughts and feelings. When your child shares an opinion, truly listen without interrupting or rushing to give advice. Sometimes, all they need is to feel understood rather than judged. For example, if your child has a different perspective on an issue, instead of saying, "You're wrong, I know better," try saying, "I understand why you think that way, can you tell me more?" When your child feels heard, they'll gradually open up and start learning to respect you in return. Respect is also reflected in your daily interactions. Avoid yelling, mocking, or belittling your child in front of others. Instead, use a calm and positive tone when communicating. When you plant the seeds of respect, your child will naturally learn to mirror that respect back to you. Number 6. Learn to communicate effectively. Communication is the key to building respect between parents and children, yet many parents unintentionally create distance through their way of speaking. When you communicate with commands, criticism, or force, your child is likely to resist or ignore you. This not only weakens your connection but also slowly erodes their respect for you. Think about it, do you often say things like, "You must do this," or "Don't argue, just listen to me"? These statements can make your child feel voiceless, leading to defiance. Instead of giving orders, encourage your child to think and make decisions by asking questions. For example, instead of saying, "Stop staying up late," you might ask, "Have you noticed how tired you feel the next morning when you stay up late?" Additionally, when your child makes mistakes, rather than jumping to criticize, guide them with open-ended questions like, "What do you think would have been a better way to handle that situation?" Or, "If you face that situation again, what would you do differently?" Giving your child the chance to reflect helps them feel respected and more accountable for their actions. Most importantly, listen more than you speak. When your child shares, let them finish without interrupting or rushing to offer solutions. When they feel genuinely heard and respected, they will naturally become more open to hearing you out. Effective communication doesn't just rebuild respect, it strengthens the parent-child bond for the long term. Number 7. Stop overgiving when it's not appreciated. As parents, we naturally want to give the best to our children, from love and material support to sacrificing our time and health for their well-being. But a common mistake parents make is giving too much without setting limits, leading children to take that sacrifice for granted. When children no longer appreciate what you do, respect can quickly fade. Think about all the times you helped your child with homework, bought them what they wanted, or dropped everything to care for them, only to be met with indifference or even more demands. If this happens often, it's a sign that you need to establish boundaries when helping your child. Instead of always meeting their every need, set clear limits. For instance, if your child asks for help with homework, guide them through the process instead of doing it for them. If they want a new item, teach them to save up or set conditions for them to earn it. This helps them understand that your support and love are valuable and not to be taken for granted. When you begin to help with intention and principle, your child will learn gratitude and respect. This approach not only helps you regain respect but also teaches your child responsibility, independence, and how to truly value what they receive in life. Number 8. Build your own life. One of the reasons many parents lose respect from their children is that they center their entire lives around them, forgetting their own needs, interests, and personal values. When children see that you have no personal goals or pursuits beyond taking care of them, they may unconsciously start to take your presence for granted and lose respect for you. On the other hand, when you lead a full and meaningful life, your children will begin to look at you with admiration and greater respect. This doesn't mean ignoring or neglecting them, it means balancing parental responsibilities with your personal life. Ask yourself, when was the last time you did something purely for yourself? It could be a hobby you once loved but abandoned, an unfinished dream, or relationships you've distanced yourself from due to being busy with your children. Don't hesitate to spend time on yourself, pursue your passions, reconnect with friends, and enjoy life more fully. When your children see you happy, confident, and independent, they will not only respect you more but also learn a valuable lesson about living a meaningful life. Remember, you are not just a parent, you are an individual with your own unique value, and your children need to see that to truly respect you. When it comes to regaining respect from your children, the most important thing to remember is that respect cannot be forced, it must be built through how you treat yourself. If you constantly seek validation from your children, they won't take your words seriously. But when you are confident in your own worth, they will begin to see you in a different light. Setting clear and firm boundaries is also essential. If you compromise easily just to maintain peace, your words will lose weight. Sometimes, the best way to assert your authority is not through arguments or yelling, but by acting with calm and steadiness. Additionally, avoid being emotionally dependent on your children. When they feel like they are your only source of happiness, they may gradually distance themselves. In contrast, when you live a meaningful life, pursue your passions, and maintain relationships outside the family, your children will begin to respect, and even admire, you. Respect also comes from how you communicate. If you frequently impose your thoughts on your children without listening, they will resist. Instead of giving orders, ask questions and encourage them to think and make their own decisions. When children feel respected, they are more likely to reciprocate that respect. A common mistake parents make is giving too much without receiving appreciation. If you always help without setting limits, your children might start to see it as an expectation rather than a gift. Offer help when truly necessary, so your children understand that parental sacrifices are precious, not an obligation. Ultimately, living an independent and joyful life is the most valuable lesson you can teach your children. When you live with passion and have personal goals, your children will see you as a strong, valuable individual, not just someone who revolves around them. So, which of these 8 ways do you think is the most important? Or do you have other methods to regain respect from your children? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you found the insights in this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe to the channel to catch more valuable content, and turn on the notification bell to get alerts for new videos. Thank you for watching until the end of the video. I look forward to hearing your thoughts in the comments. Wishing you strength and joy in your parenting journey. See you in the next video.